extremely well, and to a man, still holds the Firestone Tournament of Champions as the hallmark of professional bowling. And the founder of the PBA, Eddie Elias, couldn't have been happier. We salute him. ABC Sports presents live in its 28th season, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today, from Fairlawn, Ohio, it's the 25th anniversary Firestone Tournament of Champions. Last night, 24 winners marched into Riviera Lanes to bowl the final and crucial 48th game to determine the 5 finalists. In our first game, 6-time titleist David Houston of Milwaukee, Oregon meets the defending champion Mark Williams of Beaumont, Texas. In the second match, Mike Albee of Indianapolis tries for the Triple Crown. In the semifinal game, it'll be Del Ballard of Richardson, Texas. Seeded number 1, a 5-time champion from Stockton, California, Walter Ray Williams, Jr. That's our talented field for today's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. And outside on a beautiful yet windy day here in Fairlawn, Ohio, a suburb of Akron itself, this has been a sign that has been so important to all of us. Yes, through these portals, the world's greatest. And the 25th anniversary sign dominates the picture inside, and the 40 lanes have taken a pounding by all the champions. $250,000, $50,000 to the winner. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Schenkel. Delighted to be a part of all these many years. Continuing saga it has been, and ABC Sports coverage continues immediately following us with Wide World of Sports. And today, the WBA welterweight champion Mark Breland puts his title on the line against undefeated, 20 wins, 19 knockouts, Rafael Pineda. Then, the Wood Memorial and the early Derby favorite, Easy Gore, will be in the field. In 1965, this gregarious youngster from Louisville, Kentucky, won the first Firestone. And now, a quarter of a century later, he's here with me live, still gregarious, from Memphis, Tennessee, Billy Hardrick. Tell us about the reminiscences of the big win.
Well, you know, the first year, first off, it's hard to believe it's been 25 years. I'll never forget seeing Eddie Elias emotional for the first time in my life. The city of Akron, the love they gave to the bowlers, the red carpet that Firestone laid out, and to watch this tournament grow into the most prestigious tournament in the history of bowling it's been something to really behold.
What are you doing now, Billy?
Well, I'm public relations man for Bowling Computer Systems out of Texas, and I own Billy Hardrick All-Star Lanes in Memphis, Tennessee, and we're signing up summer bowlers right now.
Busy guy.
Right now.
Attaboy. Keep up the great work, champ.
Always trying.
To another champ now, my colleague Nelson Burton, Jr.
Thank you, Chris. Before there was a $100,000 for a U.S. Open, before the big bucks for the PBA National Championship, before the TPC, there was the Firestone. This is the tournament that put PBA bowling on the map, and it's still the most coveted and most prestigious tournament for all professional bowlers. And the man in the number 3 position probably has more reason to win this tournament than any other player. Mike Albee, you can go over the $1 million mark and become a Triple Crown winner if you can win today.
Well, I've got a chance to do a lot of things today, and it's a storybook ending, but it's not written in stone, and there's some other guys have something to say about that today.
Well, Mike Albee, you're not the odds-on favorite. Walter Ray at the top looks pretty tough. How about a score to win?
Well, it looks like they're a little tough out there right now, but once we start bowling, the guys seem to come to the top, so they could be pretty good today.
Good luck, Mike.
Thank you.
In the first match, it's Houston, a U.S. Open winner against a 2-time champion, Mark Williams, trying to defend his title. Then it's Mike Albee in the second match. The semifinal figures in with Del Ballard, Jr., very tough in the big tournaments. And finally, my pick to win. At the top, Walter Ray Williams, Jr., he's throwing the straight shot to the pocket. It's proved very successful in the championship pair 27, 28, and years before, and he'll be very tough. Chris, there's a lot of money Firestone's put up, and let's see how it's split up today.
All right, the $250,000 total. 50 to the winner, 28, 20, 15, and 10. So the loser of this first match coming up will get $10,000. And in that first match, the 1982 United States Open champion, David Houston of Milwaukee, Oregon, turned 24 last Wednesday. He's a delightful guy with 6 victories. Came on strong to get to this point. almost continuing as he did last night, striking out to get into the number 5 position. And in the left lane of this championship pair, he has left the 4-pin.
As good as anybody I've seen, or any time I have seen him in a tight position last night as he came from behind with 4 strikes to qualify in the number 5 position.
So some of the nervousness has left the interior of David Houston, who outwardly looks as calm as a cucumber. And so does Mark Williams of Beaumont, Texas, 31 years old, the 85 Firestone. Last year won it, 4th seed, a seasoned veteran. Leaving the 3-6-10.
Mark Williams, who has made some major changes in his approach and swing. He still has that bent elbow, but as you see him, he bends it there and he drives it right next to his left leg. That's the key to a consistent arm swing. He's definitely improved.
So we're all even after 1 frame in our very first game of the Firestone. Both marking with spares. Mark now moving over to the left. 20th television appearance. 5 of his 6 titles have come in the month of April. First title in 1984. What a shot that is. Pressure packed is this event, as is the U.S. Open and the PBA National.
Good shot of Williams' angle on the left-hand lane. The lane that hooks just a little bit more. He goes out to about the 5th board, solid in the pocket.
And David Houston gets the first split of the finals here today with the 1-2-4-10.
Something we can watch for all day long. The key is going to be the right-hand lane, as we need David Houston to get the ball over here in the 1-2 zone, drive the head pin over into the 10 pin to convert the washout. And once again, I believe that 28, the right-hand lane, will be the key to victory.
And a disastrous open frame for Houston, who his parents, Kathy and Champ, are here along with his wife, Michelle. And what a cheering on session they had last night in that position round game. There you see them behind Mark Williams.
Champ, a PBA member and owner of 2 bowling centers in the Milwaukee area.
Great comeback. These professionals, though, do it consistently, have an open frame, and they gather their forces and come back with a power strike.
Agreed, Chris, and you see a wonderful shot here by Houston as he drives through with that pivot foot, just strokes the ball, and really the key is, once again, is this right-hand lane. You must cut your hook down. You can't play the big hook and be successful.
So a big double puts Mark Williams in the lead right now at 25 pins.
Mark Williams, who will often change bowling balls, and I think he probably changes his equipment to match the lane surfaces as well as anybody on the Pro Bowlers Tour, is using a somewhat hooking ball on both these lanes today, and I think it'll work very well here on this left lane.
Leaving a 10 pin. Standing room only crowd here at Rivera Lanes in Fairlawn, Ohio. This is a week where tournament sponsors from all over the country, proprietors of the lanes where we've done 15 telecasts prior to this one today, come to celebrate a very successful season. All right. Nearing the midpoint of our very first game as we look at our control truck, Larry Cam and Carol Letty back there with our talented crew. And these are the talented champions of the past.
2 pin out. Hopefully he'll get a good frame. Not too big.
So for David Houston, it's his second open frame. Mark Williams now, Beaumont, Texas, going for his 3rd Firestone title. And a high hit has left him 4-7-10, Nelson.
We've seen the problems with the right-hand lane for the big hook ball players. They either go high or light. Williams goes a little bit high, leaves the 4-7-10, needs to get the ball over by the 4-pin, slide it over into the 10, and he should go for this early in the match.
So it's the first open for the defending champion. We asked Mark what a third Firestone would mean to him.
To win the Firestone for the third time would be the greatest achievement of my career. I've won it twice before. I'm defending champion. I took 2 weeks off in March to get ready for this tournament. Now I've got a chance to win it.
David Houston, following his first open, Mark has come back with a strike. 24 pins separating them.
And from that camera angle, you could see how much room they have to the right to swing the ball in the left-hand lane 27. That's not the case on lane 28, where Houston is up right now.
That high head leaving the 310, the man that finished third last week.
In order to really hit this pair of lanes, and I know they're out there thinking, and as Michelle says, boy, David's in trouble. What should he do? What he should do is throw as little hook as possible on this right-hand lane, or at least throw the ball so hard he cuts his hook down and play his natural shot on the left.
Just gets it. Nice conversion. 6th Firestone for David Houston. He was 4th in 1982. And what would a Firestone victory mean to him?
Well, winning the Firestone would be 2/3 of the Triple Crown, which not very many of the pros have done before. And I think to be considered a great bowler on the PBA Tour, you must win the tournament, Firestone Tournament Champions. And that's my goal.
All right. As we have mentioned, he won the U.S. Open in 1982 in Houston, leaving the 2-8.
David's father, who has been so instrumental in his career, I asked him what his father taught him. He said just the basics, just the fundamentals, nothing fancy. David got most of the experience on the tour.
Okay. Mark Williams, the defending champion, leaves David Houston by 26 pins. It's a windy and blue sky in Fairlawn, Ohio.
Nature's light, bathing fields of grain, enriching full, fresh hops, giving life to sparkling streams, nourishing all the natural things that go into making Bud Light. The light beer that's beechwood aged for a clean, fresh taste that makes Bud Light the one light that outshines them all.
Right now, the biggest game in town is at your Napa Auto Parts store. You'll find big savings on all kinds of quality products for your car or truck, like batteries, filters, and Napa chemicals. And you could win one of over 5,000 great prizes.
Mark Williams marking with a spare in the 8th, and while we were away, he had a strike in the 7th, and that double at that point had put him ahead by 36, now leading by 35, and for David Houston, spare up, shooting in the 8th, getting late. Ten-pin.
By far, David's best shot on the right-hand lane, and he needs to get going to close that gap of 36 pins between Mark Williams and himself. As Michelle says, well, could have gone, but at least David's got the right line. If he can close with strikes in the 9th, 10th, and 11th frames, he'll be in the 180s and still have a chance.
Wide World of Sports follows, and Mark Breland, Olympic champion and WBA welterweight champion, going against a toughie, Rafael Pineda, 20 wins, 19 knockouts, and then the Wood Memorial and Bo Easygoer. This is an easygoing professional bowler.
You're right, David Houston, well liked by all the players, one of the most likable players on the tour. And right now, in order to like his final results, he has to get some strikes.
Winner of the Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award, 1988, David Houston, sort of a futile smile, but it's a foundation strike for him. And here now comes Mark Williams, spare up, shooting in the 9th.
once again, the solid 10 pin. But a player does not mind the solid 10 very often if, indeed, the scores are very low. And as we see, it's match game competition. Williams rolls that ball that outside line, the solid 10. But it's an easy spare. It's better than a split, and he has the match well in hand.
All right, and there are Mark's parents, Wayne and Luann. Beaumont, Texas.
And their son has the first match well in hand, as Mark Williams will be at least in the 190s. The best David Houston can do will be in the 180s. A strike here would lock it up.
In match play, Mark defeated Walter Ray Williams, Mike Albee, and also Houston.
For Williams, he just needs to get 2 pins here to shut out David Houston. Even if he misses a spare, knocks down 2 pins, he'll have 189. The best Houston can do is 188.
Chopping off the 3 and 6, but nonetheless, Mark Williams with a 189. Well, let's see. We'll be back, of course, with the final scores. The Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. I'll be next.
The Professional Bowlers Tour, brought to you by Firestone, the name that's known as Firestone, where the rubber meets the road. By Bud Light, everything else is just alike. And by Napa, all the right parts for all the right places.
What are you going to show first? Complicated machinery behind the scenes, and it makes all the pin setting automatically possible. Mark Williams hung in there. 4 strikes, 189. David Houston opened in the 10th frame, shot a 154, $10,000, and the defending champion moves ahead against Mike Albee. Interesting guy from Beaumont, Texas, as we look at Albee, but let's go up close and personal with Williams. We take you to Beaumont, Texas, home to many fine athletes. Usually Texas is noted for its high school football players, but Mark Williams was out winning bowling trophies. Coming from a family who loved the sport, age 2 was not too early to start.
The first toy I ever got for Christmas was a plastic bowling ball and plastic bowling pins. So, I grew up with the sport. It's really been my life for as long as I can remember. When I was 4 years old, I could keep score bowling where most kids could barely count to 10. I was able to add score up quicker than most parents could. So, I love the game. I've been around it forever. My parents have always been very supportive of my bowling. They've wanted me to go on at times when I felt like it was time to hang it up and go ahead and get a job. And my father went to the bank and took out a loan one time to keep me out on the tour at a time when he felt I should keep bowling. And I owe them a lot. Without them, I do not believe I'd be on the tour right now.
Mark made it all worthwhile, winning several tournaments, including the Firestone in 1985. And again, winning the prestigious Tournament of Champions last year. He made his parents proud.
Well, it's a dream come true. A dream come true for him to win 2 Firestones out of 4. That's fantastic. Thank you.
A fantastic young man to go with it. Back home in Beaumont, Mrs. Williams keeps those Firestone trophies in tip-top shape. As for Mark, he keeps himself in shape, practicing at his local lanes with hometown friends like pro bowler David Ozio.
Coming home after having a year in 1988 like I had, I'm congratulated by a lot of people. Some of the nicest people in the world are here from this area. It's a place I've enjoyed living all my life, and plan on living here forever. It's just the only home I've known, and it's the only one I ever plan on having.
The eyes of Texas surely have been shining on this young man.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
So you look at Mike Albee. Yes, the parents are here. Luann and Wayne Williams. Very proud. She'd like to shine the 3rd Firestone trophy. Getting a weekend off. And now their son will shoot first. And he's going against one of the all-time greats, Mike Albee. High hit. 6 pin.
2.5
players that really know how to win the big tournaments. Mark Williams has won 2 Firestones. He's won his first match here today, and then Albee red hot all year, and he has a penchant for the big ones.
Okay, it's a spare for the winner of the first game over David Houston, 189 to 154. Here's a 29-year-old from Indianapolis, Indiana. 3 wins already this year, 48 television appearance, 17 PBA titles. And the only left-hander in our field of 5 opens with a strike. Let's replay that shot, Bo.
Chris, he makes a wonderful shot here as you see the 4-step delivery, the pronounced push away, playing the deep inside line, tucks that arm swing right inside, right next to that right foot. That's so critical in professional bowling to get the leverage and consistent accuracy, playing almost down the center of the lane. He just tipped that 5-pin out, but he's off to a good start.
His wife, Tammy, their expected parents, around October, their first, now for a double. And it's a 6-pin for Mike Albee.
Mike, a very patient bowler. He's very much believing in himself, and he has a wonderful carrying ball. As you see his ball go right through the middle, he knocks out the 4-pin, which stands almost to leave a 4-6 split. There it is on the left-hand part of your screen. Leaves only the 6-pin, and he'll start off very well with a strike and a spare.
Mike Albee, who has made the finals of the last 6 Firestones 5 times. 3rd consecutive and standing room only here. Mark Williams, of course, has 1-2 using the full approach. Leaving a 10, starting that one way outside, hanging on the channel. Nelson.
Good shot, Chris. He sends it wide. He avoids the high hit, which was really the undoing of David Houston. And if he can keep it light, he's going to be very, very tough, and his scores will improve dramatically with the light hits. He doesn't get a good break here as the head pin does not take out the 10.
Here on ABC Sports tomorrow, it's quite an afternoon. 4th and final round of Chrysler Cup Golf. And that comes from Sarasota, Florida.
Arnie's playing very well. I saw Chi-Chi won on Friday, so representing the United States.
And it's a 4-pin now for Mark Williams, who is in his 2nd match. He's had all types of spares to shoot at here.
Interesting, Mark Williams always changes balls for spares. He goes with a high surface friction ball that doesn't hook very much, just for control.
And of course, McDonald's All-Star Basketball tomorrow, right here on ABC. These are high school stars, spotlighting them. Future legends, no doubt, in the world of college basketball. That's tomorrow, here on ABC.
That's where Michael Jordan made his first impression.
Mike dancing up and down after the release. No, he might be in deep trouble, leaving 5.
Albee sends it wide, keeps it out of trouble, and really that's what you must do on very difficult lane situations under extreme pressure, and both players have done that so well in the first 3 frames. This is match game competition at the highest level. You do not want to beat yourself with that split right through the heart of the pins.
Smooth and consistent, Mike Albee. What would a victory here mean to Mike?
The Firestone is the most prestigious event, which I haven't been fortunate to win before. I've had my chances, but hopefully today we can come away with it.
You know, Chris, before we did that little interview at the top of the telecast, he says, you know, there's something special here. I feel it. It's different from all the other tournaments, and I agree. You have to be here to really feel it.
Of course, he won the U.S. Open this year in 100,000. 4-7 on the left lane.
See the characteristics of the championship pair showing up equally for both right-handers and left-handers. Albee has been high, avoiding a split both times on the left-hand lane, coming away this time with a 4-7, the first time up there with a 6-pin. It's also been the struggle for all the right-handers. On the left-hand lane, they go high. The right-hand lane, they go light.
Continuing to mark here in our second match of the afternoon in the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Past winners, Johnson and Petraglia.
The championship pair here at Firestone, the pair that all the players know very well. The oil pattern is equal gutter to gutter. In other words, all the oil is equally distributed across the lane, 21 feet at this area in the front part, then down to 41 feet. It's very light, and then it's dry on the back end. Now here's the line that the two players are playing. The left-hander, Albee's playing almost down the center of the lane in the 1-2, and right now Mark Williams is all the way out by the channel trying to break this ball sharply into the 1-3 pocket. A very demanding lane condition, Chris, and the characteristics of the pair are simply the 27 hooks more than 28, and it's the man who can get a hot hand and be very sharp that's going to win today.
For Mark Williams, a defending champion, only his fourth Firestone. You must remember he's won 2 of them. He is tough in this major. Right lane. And a very, very high hit here in the 4th frame of his second match.
Mark taking that chance, playing the extreme outside line. In order to make this split, he needs to get the ball over here in the 3-6 zone, knock the 3-pin over into the 4-7, and hopefully get some good action to stay close in the match.
And what are champions made of? Beautifully demonstrated by Mark Williams. Look at his reaction after this shot.
Just perfect.
The eyes of a champion. Oof.
So important in match play competition to fill those frames. You give an opponent an open frame and he'll jump on it every time. With that split conversion, he keeps the pressure on Mike Albee.
Looking for his first strike in this second match. Hit 4 in his first victory over David Houston, 189 to 154. And in the 2 games that he bowled on his championship pair earlier in the week, he had a 190 average. Mike had a 198.5 average on this pair.
Very difficult pair for Albee, especially in this championship round.
That high hit.
The 2-7 baby split is for a right-hander. It would be the 3-10. For Albee, he needs to get the ball over there in the 2-pin zone, have that ball deflect from the 2 into the 7, as you see him for the first time not avoid the split, and he ends up with this. He has a shot he can make right here. Get the ball over here next to 2. The ball will deflect into the 7. For Albee with his medium speed, a tough shot. You need a lot of speed to convert this consistently.
Ooh, he kept motioning the ball to go left. Just enough to stay clean, converting that in the 5th frame.
Albee throws the ball much harder, something he doesn't do very often, cuts the hook completely off the ball, depends on the accuracy, and shows you what he's made of. He has all the shots. Tammy has to like that, as there's only a 1-pin lead now through 5 frames.
Mike's 10th Firestone. The only professional to be named PBA Player of the Year and PBA Rookie of the Year. They always loved it.
The action of the head pin, it goes to the sideboard. You see the 5, 6, and 10 standing there, the good spin on the ball. The pins this week, Chris, are the heaviest pins we've used all year long. Today, the pins are 3-pound, 9, and 10 ounce. The maximum allowed, as you see Albee's reaction, are 3-pound, 12 ounce pins. So very demanding. You have to have a lot on the ball to get the strikes.
Mike Albee, great hockey fan. Mark Williams, golf when he's not bowling. Williams has a strike up. Trailing by 1, he can take a 9-pin lead on this shot.
His parents like it, and so does Mark. Now, Mark, when he threw the strike in the 5th frame, you could hear him say, "That's it." So either he threw the ball properly or he figured out the left-hand lane. With that last shot on lane 28, he takes a chance of ball sliding off in the channel for 0, but he must take that chance in order to go through 4 opponents and get to the championship. So if he can hit this left-hand lane, look out for Williams. He's on a roll.
A 6-pin for Williams of Beaumont, Texas.
Just not enough speed. Tried to aim the shot. As any bowler knows, when the lanes are very demanding, you have a tendency to aim instead of free swing the ball.
Our second match, Mike Albee trailing this man, Mark Williams, by 8. Here's the only 3-time winner, Mike Durbin. Winter Tour, 16th and final. And in May, we'll be back with 3 Spring Tour events. We look forward to them. This is the end of a total of 16, where PBA and sponsors a total of over $3 million in prize money. So it will be the Fair Lanes Open in Phoenix.
Albee, 9th frame, 10th frame, cannot shut out Williams. The winner will be determined right here.
Through grip, Mike Albee.
There's so much education that goes behind a shot like Albee just threw right there. A key shot, he kept the match in 1 pin in his favor, and no matter what he does, he cannot shut out Mark Williams. It's an interesting match. The match has never been separated by more than a few pins all the way through. Albee led by 2 pins in the 2nd frame, and he only leads by 1 here in the 10th. It's still up for grabs.
It's on the left lane. What relief on that face. And that one.
Under the gun, you cannot throw any 2 balls any better than Mike Albee just did there in the 10th and 11th frames. He wasn't even close in this lane in the early going of the match. Then under the pressure, throws 2 strikes, and he's put himself in a position where he can win the match with a 2-13. But Williams still has a chance. Important pin action over in the left-hand corner. You'll see the 7-pin remaining after the pin action. And here comes the 3-pin off the sideboard, knocks out the 6, drifts over, knocks out the 7, puts Albee in a position to win the 2nd match. But for Mark Williams, who steps up in the 10th, he must strike on the next 2 balls. Absolutely must.
Mike Albee will go into the semifinal against Texan Del Ballard Jr. Albee with a 2-13 will have Mark Williams' final score, as Ballard will move in against Albee. We'll be back.
Bo Burton's Bowling Tip of the Week is brought to you by Kellogg's, where you can get a taste for the healthy life.
Today's bowling tip of the week is on a problem that many amateur players have, and that's rolling the full roller. A full roller is a type of shot that causes the ball to roll between the thumb and finger holes. This is not effective on today's lane conditions. Today's tip will show you how to get the ball to roll outside the thumb and fingers like all the pros do. The reason a full roller is an ineffective type of release is simply this. At the release point, a full roller player has his thumb and hand in a suitcase type position, such as this. But when he releases the ball, his thumb comes up in a clockwise rotation with his fingers coming underneath the ball. Not many revolutions are imparted to the ball that way. Now, the way the pros do it is they keep those fingers underneath the ball at the point of release. After their thumb comes out, they rotate that hand counterclockwise around the bowling ball, making sure that their thumb and fingers are pointing down at the approach after the ball is gone. Remember, in order to get that ball to rotate outside the thumb and finger holes, have that hand rotate inside the ball and the thumb and fingers pointing down at the approach.
Albee has eliminated Mark Williams, the defending champion, who shot a 190. And this capacity crowd enjoying this 25th Firestone Tournament of Champions, including a lot of our friends from New York. Here's a look at the Budweiser Kingpin standings coming into this tournament. Mike Albee is in tournament. Mike Albee is in first place. Budweiser sponsoring a $50,000 pointless competition which will run through the winter and spring tours. Players finishing among the top 24 will be awarded points, and each tournament leader receives 10 bonus points. So, at the end for the winner, the Budweiser Kingpin standings is 25 grand. The winner here today, and for Mike Albee, after his first victory, needs 2 more to win his first Firestone and $50,000. But Del Ballard will be tough. Six-pin.
Albee keeping the ball in play as he did in his first match against Mark Williams. And Mark Williams, I have to say this, threw one of the best shots I've seen in a pressure situation, the 10th frame, and really left that unfortunate 7-10 split. It looked like a good hit from here. It was just such capricious pin action, Chris.
Speaking of shots, both Mark Breland, the champion and contender, and they can throw heavy punches. And that comes up on Wide World of Sports along with live coverage of the Wood Memorial from New York. Easy Gore, a 3-year-old, he was a 2-year-old champion, and there are even some experts comparing him to Secretary. I'll have to wait a while for that comparison to be a reality. Del Ballard on his first shot has left the 10. United States Open champion in '87, won the Masters title last year.
What wonderful form, and look at how he cups that wrist at the top of the arm swing, and he drives on through with that pivot step, keeps that head steady, and his hand is directly underneath the bowling ball. Just a wonderful, wonderful form.
How smooth. For a man that has 2 victories this year, the Showboat Invitational and then the Quaker State, consecutive victories, much to the delight of all of us, including Earl Swift, marketing vice president of Quaker State.
Del Ballard Jr. has won 9 out of his last 10 TV championship matches.
How could that be?
Wow, the solid 8, the first really bad break anybody has gotten other than Mark Williams' 7-10. Ballard balls go straight through. Now watch the ball as it goes right through. It's the 1 pin, drives into the 3. The ball deflects straight back. The head pin kind of sets the 1 pin off spot. And boom, Elias is solid 8.
So the Richardson, Texas bowler, in his 3rd Firestone, best finish was 13th last year. And in match play, he defeated all 4. This is the way Elson Burton and I see the action. We're up close.
Chris, I like what Albee's doing. He's not playing that big hook that we've seen him play in so many tournaments. He's playing down the center, keeping the ball in play, almost throwing a straight shot, depending on accuracy. And with that style, a player will really have to attack to beat him.
Your sport is so difficult, though. Constant adjustments. wherever you go. We just joined us in our first match. Mark Williams defeated David Houston 189 to 154. Then this man came on to defeat Williams 213 to 190. The winner of this game goes into the Firestone final against Walter Ray Williams, Jr. Our scorekeeper today, who finished 36th in this year's Firestone, Palmer Fogren. Third frame for Mike Albee. And this is a big problem, Nelson.
Well, Albee's made his splits so far in the tournament, and once again, he has a split here that's very makeable. He needs to get the ball between the 7 and 8 pins. The percentage is very low to try to slide it over. He's got a couple inches on either side of the pin if he gets that ball directly between the 2 pins.
It out.
You know, as accurate as Albee has been and these other players, it shows you how demanding it is to get the ball in the pocket. You say, man, if a guy can slide that ball in there and just has a 1 or 2 inches to play with, he should never miss the 1-3. But for spares, they take the power off and increase that accuracy.
Del Ballard Jr. Earlier, we asked him what the Firestone means to him.
Well, besides the $50,000 first place, it's a tournament that would really mean a lot to me because certain great bowlers in the world have never won it, like Dick Weber and Mark Roth, and I think it put me in a pretty good category.
I think you're right.
Whoa, Biffy.
Even though it nearly went in the channel, it hooked a rainbow to give him a double and a 12-pin lead, Del Ballard Jr. Wow.
Your wood trim is going. Your paint is why. Because most premium paints aren't formulated to stop moisture damage. And before you know it, your wood trim is gone. You need Rust-Oleum Wood Saver paint. Formulated with Teflon and other ingredients, it forms a superior barrier to resist moisture. So don't wait. Replace your paint. Or you could replace your wood.
So, you've just waxed your car. And you've discovered something very sad. Your car has a clear coat finish. If you've used ordinary wax, that finish is finished. New Simonized non-abrasive wax is different. It won't scratch today's clear coat finishes like ordinary wax. And that can save you a lot of grief.
I'm Jack Whitaker. Get ready for the Senior Tours version of Team USA. They'll take on a top international squad in the final round of the Chrysler Cup. Live tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Fourth frame. 10-pin Mike Albee. Well, Del Ballard has doubled on his second strike. Look at this one.
This could be the demoralizer for Mike Albee. Looks like Ballard's going to throw a wide shot, go all the way into the channel, and here it comes back. It rolls out, actually quits hooking. It had so much room to cover, and he loves it. Ballard says, maybe I found something that'll take me to the title. Let's see how it affects Albee.
First man to go over 200,000 in 1 year, 1985. Accepting the pressure here for this crowd that fills Riviera Lanes each year. And for the tournament itself, it's the 25th edition. Third for this man. That time it hooked up a little higher, leaving the 4.
Look at the line that Ballard's playing, taking a chance. Chris, I don't think, let's say in golf, it's like taking it out over the water every shot, and hopefully you're hooking it back. Ballard's sending it right to the channel, taking a chance,
And so far, he's been rewarded with strikes on 2 shots and a 4-pin on the other one. If he can stay that sharp, he's going to be very tough.
Cool customer. Guy that loves those 1960s muscle cars. And to drive one of those, you have to be cool, Nelson.
Well, and got to make some money, too.
Yes.
He's made some big bucks in the last couple of years as Del Ballard steps up in the 6th frame. He bowls league with his buddies at home, and says he averages a lot higher than that 217 he's been averaging on the tour.
Man that in the last 2.5 years has won over $300,000. This year, $89,385.
And he's playing a shot that he won Las Vegas with. The great Carmen Salvino, who participated in this tournament, calls it the daddy rollout shot. You hook it so much that the ball quits hooking and rolls straight in the pocket. Ballard plays it as well as anybody. Now Albee to cut the lead down to 2 with a strike.
He defeated Mark Williams in his first game, 213 to 190. Timmy Albee. And Williams defeated Houston in our first match today, 189 to 154. Now you'll hear a pinfall. That's Walter Ray Williams Jr., the tournament leader. Staying loose, he will meet the winner of this game for the title.
48 games, 6 rounds this week, 24 qualifying, 24 match play. Albee up in the 7th, can take the lead with 1 more strike.
Getting the break. 3 in a row for Mike Albee. We're in Fairlawn, Ohio, Firestone Tournament of Champions. There he is, Deadeye, Walter Ray Williams Jr., the tournament leader, waiting to meet the winner of our match underway, Del Ballard, with a strike up in the 7th, struck. And that gave him a 2-point lead, 2-pin lead. Exciting shots that you're seeing by Ballard today.
Ballard looks just so sharp. Albee is just bowling as well as he can, but he's at a disadvantage. He has to play down the middle of the lane. He doesn't have the big pocket or strike area to carry the light hits, and he's fighting it and really hanging tough in there. But Ballard just keeps rolling along and has put Albee once again in arrears by 12 pins. But he can cut that to 2 with an additional strike here in the 8th.
Even brought a smile on Mike's face. Here's a man, one of his hobbies is keeping for his trophy room all the bowling balls he has used to shoot perfect 300 games. So there are 18 of those. Then keeps the bowling balls he's won titles with. So there are at least 17 of those. Oh, you need a big room.
Not so bad, and he sent some to Bruce Puckhahn at the Bowling Hall of Fame in St. Louis to keep as proof of many of his major victories.
Full-time is 6th pin, and Bruce Puckhahn is here, the curator, recent inductee into the ABC Hall of Fame. I'm sure someday Mike will be there, too.
Mike attacks the pocket. The 3-pin goes around the 6th. He needed that shot to retake the lead in the 9th. Mike Albee with a spare here will trail Del Ballard by 3 pins, as all the matches so far today have been very close, going right into the last couple of frames.
Sidewell follows us, Mark Breland, Rafael Pineda, for the WBA World Welterweight Championship held by Breland and Wood Memorial Invitational. He's a goer, being tested as a 3-year-old. And here's the founder of the PBA. He is another champion, Eddie Elias. Oh, at the last minute, a big rolling break. It's Del Ballard giving him a 13-pin lead, 4 in a row.
What unusual pin action on the right-hand lane. We saw Mark Williams Del Ballard's buddy leave a 7-10, which was a apparent solid hit. Watch the action of the head pin. There it goes to the left-hand part of the screen. Now it comes back across, gets involved with the 3-pin, and drives out to 10. Chris, that'll happen 1 in 500 times, and it happened at the perfect moment for Ballard, who could win the match with another strike.
So the 10-pin on the left lane for this 25-year-old who took the last 2 weeks off, rest up and prepare for this, his third Firestone.
For Del Ballard Jr., he needs a spare here in the 10th and 9 pins to shut out Albee. If he gets anything less, Albee can tie or win the match.
So he just did some double checking about, and you saw the word on his lips, 9.
I believe 9 is no in German, but 9 would be a winner here in bowling, Chris.
Okay, linguist.
Just guessing.
Correct.
Thank you.
Jawohl. Winner. So 3 different winners now. Williams winning the first, Albee the second, and Ballard the third. He'll go against Walter Ray Williams as the PBT will continue after this message and a word from our ABC station.
I'm Frank Gifford, and coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, WBA World Welterweight Champion Mark Breland puts his title on the line against #1 contender Rafael Pineda. Plus, Superhorse Easy Goer, the Kentucky Derby favorite, runs his final prep race at the Wood Memorial Invitational in New York. Easy Goer has been dominant in his first 2 victories of 1989, winning by a combined 21 3/4 lengths. And it's all just ahead of 4:30 Eastern Time. Right now, back to Chris Schenkel and more bowling.
Thank you, Frank. Mike Albee has to settle with $20,000 for losing to Del Ballard 236-223. I want to show you the names of a lot of winners. My teammates at ABC as Walter Ray Williams in the championship match continues to practice here. He'll go against Del Ballard. Crowd anticipating a match in where they'll bowl for $78,000. These are all winners, including our executive producer, Jeff Mason, and our producer, all the way through, Carol Letty, and Larry Cam. All hands, a lot of talent. Ned Simon as well as Jim Jeanette, won this year, and Les White. Technical people, though, are sensational. David Kiviat, Patty Rudeloso, associate directors, and there's a guy we couldn't exist without on tour, Manny Cabral. And Frank Esposito, all 28 years with us. Woo! Murray Schwartz, Mike Fisher. Jack Brandis and Morley Lang. If we sound good, it's because of them. And these cameramen, best in the business. And I know, I've been with them in Olympic Games, wherever. They're top-notch. Videotape, Hector, Marvin, and Pam. Talk about video. Big Eddie. Look at him. You know, this is only one time in 16 telecasts, Bo, where we can just highlight the people that are so important to what we do.
They make professional bowling what it is, the beautiful picture that goes home, and obviously very easy for us, Chris.
There's a dish that sends it to you wherever you are. And, of course, we thank all of you for watching. And Del Ballard with a 236 and 6 strikes. Shoots first on the left lane. Full approach.
The big one, the championship game, Firestone.
25th edition of this event that just gave such credibility to professional bowling. First of the corporate sponsors, here is Walter Ray Williams, Bowler of the Year in '86. Rob, he knows it, a 7-pin.
My goodness, Walter Ray, solid 7 on the first shot. Watch the 4-pin on the left-hand part of your screen. This pin right here, as it gets shot straight across. Boom, the 2 drives it straight back. An apparent good hit for Walter to start, and he ends up with a tough spare.
Best finish for Walter in the Firestone was 11th in 1986. That was the year. And also, he was 11th in 1987 here at Riviera Lanes. Third, Firestone. And as the tournament leader, second frame.
Well, Walter Ray starts with just 2 excellent shots, keeps some pressure on Del Ballard Jr., who shows no fear of anyone, especially in the big tournaments. He's won over 100,000 in a single day.
Del Ballard comes out smoking here in the championship game, doubling and taking a 10-pin lead.
Boy, those first 4 shots, Chris, don't reflect what we saw an hour ago as the players were struggling. David Houston at 150. Losing the match, and only 180 by Mark Williams, and now the players are start off just about perfect through 2.
Look at this. He has found the line.
Well, Del Ballard at breakfast told us both, Chris, that if the oil carries down, the lanes get a little slicker, and that's what's happened. His ball will work much better. He has no fear of going high. And he's proven it in the first 3 frames as he's got the very tough Deadeye down by 20.
Deadeye leaving a 4, shaking his head.
The action, the head pin. Watch it as it drives out 3 pins on the left-hand side. There's the 2 it takes out. Cuts switches behind, takes out the 8, knocks down the 5, leaves Walter with the 4 pin.
Frustrating for Walter. Last year in 9 telecasts, no wins. Brian Boss was in a total of 10 and was the player of the year and top money winner. Walter Ray was second 4 times and twice from the top seed position, so he's been struggling, but what a talent.
He doesn't give them away, Chris. I have to say players have really bowled very well against Walter Ray Williams Jr. He doesn't give away championships.
And Walter Ray in 4 frames gets his second strike. It still trails by 20 pins. Weber, Cook, and Berardi, all Firestone champions. And Holman and Mark Williams.
A&W Fairlanes Open kicks off ABC's Pro Bowlers Spring Tour, Saturday, May 20th.
First of 3 spring tours arranged by this man, the commissioner of the PBA, Joe Antonora. We're at his home grounds right now.
Steve Cook will be defending his title in Phoenix on May 20th. Now, Del Ballard Jr., who has started the championship game with 3 strikes in a row, leads Walter Ray Williams by 20. 4th frame.
All the players, we've seen 4 and now Walter Ray Williams. This man appears to be most confident.
In control, Chris. The young man who started bowling at age 5, he says first game was 32, and he was hooked at that point. Right now, he has a potential perfect game. We've seen a 299 here at the Firestone, 1970 by Don Johnson, with the unbelievable seating.
Whoa! And Mr. Ballard thought that one was in the channel. He has a 5 back. Whoa!
Hangs on the edge of the moat, and then saws that 5 pin over, drives into the 7. He gets a little help from the 2 pin. It's nice. Tomahawks the 4 and 7. He's saying in the channel, no strike.
And Walter Ray with a double. Much needed. Now down only 30 pins in this title game. 50,000 to the winner. 28,000 to the runner-up.
Walter Ray Williams Jr., who uses a urethane ball for his first shot. The full grip just inserts his fingers down to just the first knuckle. He uses a plastic ball and a shorter grip for his spares. Hopefully he doesn't have to shoot any more spares as he's trailing by 30.
Drew Bagger.
This match is a long way from over. Everybody's thinking Del Ballard perfect, Del Ballard perfect. But he only has a 20-pin lead. One little mistake, Walter Ray will be right there.
right lane. These fans are appreciating it. Just as we have appreciated the great work of our tournament director, Harry Golden, all these weeks. He's been here right from the start, 28 years ago. And for Del Ballard, this is his 7th year a member of the Professional Bowlers Association. Walter Ray in his 9th.
Del Ballard just keeps getting better and better, and this, his very best season with 2 victories, has a chance to make it 3. Leads by 19, 7th frame.
And the man with a long slide to the line. Del Ballard Jr. eliminated Mike Albee 236 to 223. Prior to that, Albee defeated Mark Williams 213 to 190. And Williams defeated Houston 189 to 154.
The biggest shot of the tournament for Walter Ray right here, 7th frame.
Sort of lost it, I think, at the line and was left to 10.
Not even close, and that's the one little problem that Walter has with his arm swing. He gets his swing a little bit away from his body on the takeaway, and if he happens to pull it back too quickly, he crosses over, leaves the 10-pin, but with a conversion, he'll trail by 20 with just 3 frames left.
Earlier, we asked Walter Ray what would winning Firestone mean both to you personally and your career.
Well, I think it would help quite a bit because it would be my first major win. Hopefully I can win a bunch more. But it gets me up to 6 titles, and hope I can get to 15 or 20 sometime.
Back in the 8th for Walter Ray, who won 2 titles in '86 when he was Player of the Year, and 3 titles in '87. Silver. This is the silver anniversary, and that is the annual trophy that goes to the winner, plus $50,000.
Ballard's strike up can make that lead 30 with 1 additional strike in the 8th.
We salute Kevin Shippey, Public Relations Director of the PBA, for all his help here on the Winter Tour. He's back home in Akron.
Ballard just not looking back, Chris. And for not looking back, I got to be a little tip on that horse race. You know.
Oh, you have?
Yep. Easy Goer's never won a 2-turn race, and the Wood right after us is a 2-turn race. He may not win.
This is a big one for Del Ballard, but the big one for Easy Goer and other 3-year-olds will be the first Saturday in May right here on ABC. Kentucky Derby, first of the Triple Crown events on this network.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. is at the absolute moment of truth. He must strike on every ball to have any chance. The best he can roll is 249. Del Ballard Jr. going at a 259 pace. Without this strike, Ballard doesn't even need to show up. He will be the winner. New champion, Chris, Del Ballard Jr. has shut out Walter Ray Williams in the 9th frame.
What a victory for this man. Finally, that smile on the Texan. And a big disappointment to Walter Ray Williams. We'll have the final scores for you when we come back, but Del Ballard has won the silver anniversary Firestone Tournament of Champions. Convincing fashion. Back again, Riviera Lanes, a new Firestone champion in the 25th edition, Del Ballard Jr. You made it look rather easy.
Well, I really had a great shot today. When I first started practicing, I didn't have that good a shot, and I just tried to slow way down, and all of a sudden I got my ball to hook right.
I think you're cool enough to drive that muscle car.
Yeah, I'm looking at a 68 Shelby GT 500 KR, and that's 50 grand to buy a lot of cars.
I got one I'll sell you.
You have one? I'll take it.
Okay, let's go to the runner-up and Bo Burton.
Walter Ray Williams Jr., solid 7 to start. You bowled a real good game. First place, do you expect the scores to be that high in the championship game?
Well, I could see that the lanes were playing a little different than they were the rest of the week, and I saw Dell had a pretty good shot. He got tapped a few times when he was playing Mike. Mike bowled a pretty good game, too, so I knew I'd have to do something, and I just didn't execute like I should have.
You tried the extreme outside line. One quick word about Del Ballard's shot and that extreme outside line, taking a chance going in the gutter.
Well, you have to basically throw a bad shot to put it in the channel, the way the lanes were reacting, but it's just a matter of just executing out there, and he did.
All right, Walter Ray, you'll be back. You got a great champion, Chris.
Okay, and we have Mike Connor, Director of External Affairs for Firestone, and here all these 25 years, and he's getting a little grabby, isn't he, Mike?
He sure is. Dell, congratulations on the 25th anniversary Firestone. Here's $50,000. It'll help you buy that car. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank Mike Connor and Firestone and everybody here. The fans are great, and I hope we get to go another 25 years. That'd be nice.
And this victory, too, your big one, gives you 3 victories this year. Pretty big step toward Player of the Year.
Well, I don't know. Mike Alvey's been bowling great all year. I was very fortunate to beat him that first game, and it really helped me out the rest of the way.
The one key to your victories this year, your lifestyle, conditioning.
Well, I'm just trying to treat this like a business and not a game. You know, everybody says bowling's a fun game. It is a fun game, but there's a time and place for business and fun.
You have found the secret.
Thank you.
The champion, 25th edition, Firestone Tournament of Champions. Thank you, fans. Thank you, Firestone. We'll see you May 20th with the first of 3 spring tour events. But congratulations to Del Ballard Jr. of Richardson, Texas.